So let's take another look. The radio stack. This is this entire piece here from, oops, there you go, from top to bottom. It's kind of difficult to move the camera with the gamepad. We're not going to use the 3D view on this because it's kind of awkward. Let me zoom out here, hold the minus key again. There we go. We're going to hold shift and press 2. So shift and 2. And we're going to get this, and we use this. This is a 2D interface we can overlay over the 3D one, just because this is more usable with the mouse. And we're going to use the mouse on this. So we're going to just resize it a bit, just so it's... well, actually, let me make it a little bit bigger for you, so you can see it better. This is a radio stack. We're going to have to go over this real quick. I'm not going to use any of these buttons at the top here, so we don't care. We're not going to use this, which is called the ADF. The automatic direction finder. We're not going to use this. We're not going to use the DME either, which is the distance measuring equipment. So these are all kind of, they don't really matter to us right now. We're not even going to use this. This is the transponder. Don't have to use it because Flight Sim X does take care of it automatically. What we're going to use is this thing down here, and this is the autopilot. We're going to use this heavily. And this up here is the radios, and we're going to use those as well. When it comes to radios, this airplane has 4 radios. This is a radio, this is a radio, this is a radio, and this is a radio. They have different names. This is COM1, as you can see here, COM2, NAV1, NAV2. These COM radios, 1 and 2, are used for communication. They're used to talking to the ATCs. We don't have to worry about them ever because Flight Sim X has shortcuts. You don't have to use these shortcuts, but we're going to use them because we want to keep it simple in this first flight. These nav ones we're going to have to use towards the end of the flight to land. And the way these work is you have 2 frequencies for everything. The left frequency, here, 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 and here, is what's called the active frequency. That's the frequency your radio is tuned to at that particular time. The one on the right is called the standby frequency. And the reason we have 2 frequencies is, say you're right now, this nav1 says 113.70. That's a certain frequency. Say we wanted to change that, we were in the air, we wanted to change that for some reason, and we could dial this in. On this side, this frequency is not even changeable. You can't change it. But this one you can because this is inactive. This is standby. So I'm going to set whatever frequency I want to, let's say 116.40. And when I want to make the change, I hit this important button. This is the switch button. And it flips them. It swaps them, okay? And that's the way we can change frequencies. Imagine how bad it would be if you were using a comm, for example. You wanted to talk to a person, you were talking to them, and they would tell you to tune to another person, to another frequency, in other words. You have only one frequency. You'd kind of go through all kinds of other frequencies on your way to the real one that you were looking for. That's why it works that way, to the best of my knowledge. Okay, so we have all the radios here. We don't have to set them up quite yet. And that's the first window. And we can show this and hide this by hitting Shift and 2. And we're gonna just leave it open for now because why not? We're also gonna use another interface, which is actually not modeled in this plane, and it's Shift 3. And this brings up our GPS. It's probably the most important instrument here for our flight right now. I'm gonna make this just a little bit smaller. There we go. And I like to stick this one in the top right, top left corner here. I'll make it just a little bit bigger. See this aircraft in the sky as well here in the background. So this is our GPS. Since we use the flight planner, this GPS has our route programmed in, all the waypoints. Okay, we can take a look at all the waypoints if we hit the FPL flight plan page once. These are all our airport, well, not airports, but our waypoints rather. This is an airport, this is an airport, and then there's a various number of stations in between. And our destination, remember, was LFOH. That was the code for Octeville Le Havre. That's what probably the O and H stand for in this ident. So it looks good. It's all pre-programmed. You could program it manually if you wanted to, but we want to make it simple. Again, keep it simple. And let's have a good flight here. Clicking it again will bring us back to our page. I like to click this button. This is a terrain display high. It just brings in the terrain. And we'll be able to tell the land from the sea that we're going to fly over a little bit more easily. These are the zoom buttons on this page. The RNG, the range, is a zoom. If you zoom out, if you click this button a bunch of times, we'll zoom out. We can zoom out quite a bit. And we'll see our route here, and it's kind of hard to tell. So that kind of sucks, but there is a way. If we click this button here, we can go to a second page. Actually, that doesn't do anything in this mode. Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. There we go. That looks a little bit better here on the second page. It doesn't matter if you didn't quite follow that. It's not that important. We're going to return to the standard screen in a sec. But we can see our route here. Our active segment is this red one, the red line. That means this is our first waypoint. These are all our other waypoints. They're different kinds of waypoints. That's why they have different symbols. It's not going to matter. The name's not really gonna be important to us. But this is the flight route. This is England. This is France. And this is how you would expect a normal map to look like. If we click this button again, actually the left one this time, these are our pages. There's 2 pages on this screen. You can go back to the other one. Now this one, because we're facing north here, actually does look the same, but this one is always going to turn with our aircraft. So if we look south, this entire map is going to look south, basically. South is going to be north in that case. It's not really important to know that. For now, this looks good. And this is everything we need to talk about right now. I just want this to be up there. It's important for navigation. Well, let me make it a little bit smaller again here because it takes a little bit too much away from the outside. Cool. That's that. The third window we will need a lot is going to be this, and what you hit to show this is the tilde key. The tilde key is right above tab, and it's right to the left of the 1. So it's kind of underneath escape there. So if you hit that button, you can show and hide the ATC menu, and this is kind of Flight Sim's access way to simulate communication with the ATCs. That's why it's called ATC menu. So those are your tower people and your ground radio station beacons and whatever people. So I like to put this in the bottom left corner and make it a little bit smaller here. And now we are in the plane. We're kind of ready to go here, but there's a couple of things we need to do before we can actually do anything. First of all, I would like to turn on the lights. So the engines are already on. We didn't have to worry about that one, but let's right-click Cockpit Light Switches. So brings up a view. Let me hit the tilde key here, so we get a better view. And these are our light switches. And we do want to change them. So this is the beacon, which is already on. These are the landing lights. I think it's good practice not to turn on the landing lights while you're taxiing to the runway, but only to turn them on once you're on the runway. I think it has to do with blinding other people. I don't know. Taxi lights. We want to taxi here pretty soon, so we're gonna turn them on. Navigational lights and the strobe lights. We're gonna just turn them on, and this is literally just playing along with the simulation here, so it's not that important. It's not like you're gonna crash in Flight Sim X because you didn't have the landing lights on or something. It doesn't really matter. Go back to the virtual cockpit. We have lights sorted out.